Welcome to another edition of Real Deal Graphics. I'm going to let you guys come live with me as I paint. I'm recreating an oldie but goodie scheme of mine. I used to have it when I ran Toyota this year in 2017, making my return to iRacing. I am a Ford man, so can I say dedicated to my Fords. And I was just going through some old schemes, um, and I run across this scheme. I never really took it public to where it could be, downloaded by a bunch of people. And so this is just one of my favorite all-time schemes, and I wanted to kind of give it a fresh look on the Ford, and so that's what I was doing. So I thought, what a better time to just do it's a pretty basic scheme, so it's pretty good. I'm gonna turn this camera off of me because you don't even really need to see me. Um, that don't kill it. That didn't kill it. Bam, there it goes. All right. So essentially, what we got here is just I've got a 2017 Ford Fusion. I've actually gone in. You can see up here in the upper right hand corner where I've actually gone in. You see that Fusion that's black and white. That's okay. Um, you're going to see that disappear in just a minute. But you'll see where everything's kind of smudged in a little bit right here. That's where I kind of went in, and the old metallics didn't fit the new nose and all that stuff. So I had to go in and do some smudging and different things. I'm going to show you guys how I done that. Um, by doing that, we got these highlighted layers right here. Okay, we're going to take that one, add it, and you see it get a little bit brighter. We're going to click on it, and over here on the left hand side, we're going to come get the smudge tool. And you'll see we're going to bring these metallics down and smudge them into that grill. Okay, you're not going to see this because it takes it beyond the template. So all these little sharp little edges right here, you won't see any of it. Okay, but we're going to bring all it within the boundaries of that where you cannot see it. So that way on the scheme you don't ever really even notice it. You just see the bright metallics. Okay, so we're going to smudge it on over. You hear the clicking, that's my mouse. Every time you hear that click, I'm pushing the mouse button. We're going to come to both layers. When I say layers, each one of these are a layer. So if you see, like I click on that one, it disappears, add it, it comes back up. Okay, everything that's below this layer will appear below it in here. So for instance, let me take this one right here. This is my orange layer. Okay, if I take this orange layer and I scroll it all the way up here to the top, and I put this orange layer above everything else, boom, you see how it comes down, it goes above everything. Okay, well, I want that orange layer to be my very bottom layer. So what I'm going to do is drag it all the way back down below all my, it's going to be on my base color right here. Boom, it's the first layer of paint above the silver. So that's my silver. That's my orange. Okay, this right here, layer 5, is my black, is what you see right here. Okay, then you're going to get into this gray right here, which is right there. Okay, then this right here is my shadow layers. That's just the different shadows. Okay, and then you got your highlight layers. Okay, anything below your highlight layers, they are going to appear up underneath the metallics. And to show you the difference, what the metallic layers do, right here, see how everything's just like a dull. I mean, it don't even look like a good color. You add those metallic layers and boom, and see how they brighten the colors up there. Okay, so that's what the metallics do. They give it a real shiny appearance. Okay. We're going to add a bunch of different logos to this car, and we're going to race it at Indy is my plan. But I really love this scheme, and that's why I decided to bring it back. It's a throwback scheme from about 2 years ago when I ran Toyota. It's a Real Deal Graphics scheme, which is me. Real Deal Graphics. But anyways, so I wanted to bring that on board, show you guys this. Well, I'm going to keep on painting. I'm going to see if I can put this live dashboard up here. I'm going to move it on over. here. Live chat is engaged. Let's see, HELLO. Boom. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat. So my live chat should be feed now. I'm going to share this on Facebook real quick so that it goes on to my Real Deal Graphics. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Leave that. Bam. Um, but if any of you guys get an alert, let's see. Let's go into the iRacing forums real quick. Let's put post. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's copy this link on here. Bam, bam. Let's see. All right. So I posted on there on iRacing. So that's about the best place to put it. All right. Let's copy this link on here. Bam, bam. Let's see. Okay. All right. So if you guys have any questions or anything, just in the live chat, just post your comment or whatever, and I'll be happy to address anything I can if I can help you guys or whatever. If you need help. Um, all right. So, all right. So when painting, that's the number one thing you need to learn is layers. And we're using Adobe Photo Shop. And you can go to Adobe, and I pay $9.99 a month, and I get all the latest updates and all that stuff. And it's really not, I don't eat McDonald's once a week or something like that, and it'll change it. But and then I don't really miss that. But um, a lot of people request paints and stuff like that, and they wonder, well, why do people charge for paints? Because and I charge like $20 for a paint. If you buy two paints, I give you $5 off the next one. But really, I'm working for like 50 cents an hour because some of these paint schemes take like 4, 5, 10 hours. I mean, you would be like I mean, you'll get it if you watch this tutorial, then you'll see exactly how long it takes and how far in detail you want to go with your paint. Um, I am going to light up a cigarette. I do not suggest that you smoke. If you're under the age of 18, just say no. Um, but I like to smoke, so especially when I'm painting. All right, so what I've done here is this on my little black lines right here, my, so to speak. Let me delete this real quick so I can show you guys what I did. Okay, now what I want to do here now is get these right here on the passenger side of the car, just like the one on the driver's side of the car. So what I'm going to do is take this layer, and I'm going to just simply duplicate it. And I right click on it, duplicate, there, boom, it's duplicated. Now I'm going to come up here to edit, and I'm going to transform that vertically. So what that does is actually just flips it just like it's supposed to be. And I'm going to take my arrow key, and I like to use my arrow keys. It's a little bit longer that way, but it does keep it perfectly aligned with the other side. So right there, okay, I'm going to use this corner piece right here as my judgment. Now I could turn my lines on, but I'm going to take it right there. Okay, so now it's pretty much perfect. So when I turn my wire on, which is right there, okay, everything lines up right, okay, and that's what the wire is used for. I do zoom in on mine, because it's actually as clear as it will actually be on the car. And so that's my top one, okay. And now my other line I had on here, which was part of my scheme, which is this bottom one right here, which is this bottom right there. So I'm going to duplicate this again, right click, duplicate, up here to edit, and then I'm going to come to transform. I'm going to transform it vertically, and I'm going to now scroll it to the top. I'm just going to let it go up there real slow. Well, let me tell you something too. If you decide that you don't want to go that route, make sure you have certain things turned on. Show your transform controls, make sure that's clicked. Let me zoom out so I can show y'all. By doing that, I'm going to push it up here. Okay, now if you watch, you'll see the pink lines appear when it's perfectly. You see 3 lines appear. Okay, there's 1. Now there, 2, 3. Okay, now it should all pop up at the same time when it's lined up with the other one. And it's kind of hard, see, to get them just right, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to pull it up over here. Okay. That one shows it that way. Now, right, it's right, that line, bottom line is kind of like right in between there. Okay, it's actually 1 line up above right there. So I'm going to come over here, and you got right there, and you're 1 line above there. Okay, so that's top to top is 1 line to 1 line, so that needs to go down a little bit. Boom. Okay, now we're perfectly even on that side. Now, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to scroll down here to my very bottom layer, which is this orange, and this is what my orange selection I've got over here on the left hand side. That's what that is, and I'm going to just simply click my paintbrush, and I use a square brush most of the time if I can, and I'm simply going to color it in like that. Okay, left click, color all that in. Okay, now I'm going to get my eraser out. It's right here. That's round, you'll see. Boom, and get that little click off there so it ain't orange sticking through there. Alright, now I'm going to choose my black. Okay, and I'm going to choose this next layer above it. Now that's actually above there. So if I had actually, I'm going to make it right click, drag it a little bit bigger, makes my square bigger. So it makes it, you know, it paints quicker. Okay, now, you see I got a little bit of black there. I'm going to turn these lines off, my wire off, so I can make sure I get all my little details with my paint. Click. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my eraser. And I got a little bit of black over right there, so I'm going to click that off there and that there. Alright. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to click our wire back on. Okay, from the bottom it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 lines right there. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right there is where that black line is going to come across the back. Okay, so we're going to choose this little black line tool here. We're going to alright, so there you go, that. And we're just going to expand it this way, expand it that way. Now I have no idea how thick that line is on the back because you know, it's a little bit different like that, but when we get further into the paint, I'll show you guys when we actually go into the sim and show it. Okay, now you see how my other black lines, they have a that white trimmed, right? Okay, in order to do that, it's real simple. You go to you select your layer that you're on, like right here. This is our layer. All right, double click with your left side, the left mouse button. Okay, and you see all these options you got here. You're going to hit stroke. Okay, it always recalls your last stroke that you've added. Okay, so I'm going to simply click OK. But you click on your stroke right here, you can choose the color of the stroke. Right here, you can increase your stroke and down. Okay, how thick it is, whatever. You can choose to put it on the inside, the outside, the center. If you move it to the outside, it goes to the, you know, the outside, inside to the inside. Depending on the graph is whether I use inside or not. Your opacity, you can do it 100%. You know, you can make it almost see-through, and that's what your opacity is. So that's what that does. Okay, now see how our little line kind of comes over here on top of that? Okay, what we're going to do to get rid of that is we're going to come back up here and we're going to select that layer. Alright, and to make sure you select the right layer, what happened to that? What in the world? Okay, you click it, the little I button, and it goes off and on, then you know you're on the right one. Okay, and then you just click your eraser. You're going to see that little thing there. You have to convert and rasterize the shape to a shape, and that all you just click OK and it automatically does it, and boom, you click it away, it's gone. Okay, so now all that's good. Alright, so the back of the car's got to look like this. It's got to match. So what we're going to do is go ahead and do that. We're going to click our orange over here, and we're on that layer, and we're going to click our paint tool, and we're simply just going to paint above that black line orange. Okay. Alright, and around these lights right here, it does not really show up in the sim, but I like to put the color around mine. I think it looks cool. So I'm going to do that. You do not have to do that, or if you choose not to, you don't have to. But I do that. Okay. Alright, now we got to put the black down. And this is like a black charcoal up under it, so it turns out like a little charcoal, a little bit less than that. So and you'll notice that it doesn't go over your forward or anything because your forward layers are way up top, so it's the very bottom layer. So that's what it goes to show you when I was telling you about layers as far as how they work. One of the most important things to learn in painting cars is layers and how to use your layers. Okay, if you go and you look at all these different objects, when you're doing your logos, I put my sponsorship logos, my roof camera, my rear camera, my jack markers, my exhaust dirt. Okay, and then right above, you got my sponsorship logos above my roof camera and all that stuff because you want them logos to be above everything. Um, that's going to be the outermost portion of the car. You know, that's like the last thing that's done to a race car. So you want that to be on the top side. Um, all right. So we're going to go choose some logos here. I want to show you guys a little bit about that. In choosing your logos, when you do that, you can pull pretty much anything offline. But what you want to do is I'm going to pull I'm going to minimize this. Let me just put another panel up there. There we go. All right, I've got a bunch of files on mine, but I want to pull some offline so you guys can see how to do that. Show you guys a little bit about doing that because logos are really important to a car because you want them logos to look good. Okay, so let me think one of the logos I'm going to actually put on my car. Let me think here. Let me look at my logos. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Man, there's so many different thousands of logos that I've got. Or if anybody in here has, if anybody's watching and has a logo that you want to see, you can just type it up there. Let's go with Monster Energy. It's the Monster Energy circuit, whatever, what cup series. So we're going to look up Monster Energy logos, and then we're going to type in a keyword here, PNG. Okay, and that should look for PNG files. Okay, now when you go to your images, and you can go up to your Google and click images. Now, if you look up top here, you got transparent, wallpaper, skull, vector, 1080p. Okay, that's very, very critical. 1080p, we want them logos. Okay, so now all these logos right here are PNG files. They're 1080, they're huge. Okay, so you see how huge that is, and it already comes transparent. So all you have to do is right click, save the link. Let's just go and put it in my documents real quick. Where in the world are my documents? Here we go, libraries. Let's go ahead and I go to painting, iRacing, and I've got a logos folder. Okay, and that's an HTML document actually, but we're gonna put here, watch this, monster logo. All right, boom, saved it. Okay, let's see, that's a pretty good one. Now that file right there, alright, that's a JPEG. We asked for PNG, but that's a JPEG, but it's transparent, so it will save, you know, it's going to save it as a JPEG. But when we open this up, okay, there's a bunch of cool monster logos, man. Those things are cool. That's also a JPEG. I put PNG up there. Let me go back up here and let's see. Okay, that's because it's 1080p, 1920 by 1080. You can just, and that's a really critical thing to do. Okay, that worked out right. Okay, PNG. All right, so when it pops up and I look for a PNG image, it's automatically in the save. It's going to say PNG image. And this is a 1920 by 1080 logo. So watch, see how big that logo is? So when I go, let me put that back up there. All right, what I'm going to do is when you do that, your Photoshop, I've got mine set up to open all my logos with Photoshop. So you're going to see two things up here. That's my car, and that one right there is the logo. I'm simply going to drag that logo down. okay, and then click on this logo and drag it up onto the car. Now see how big that logo is? That's what you want. Now, that's a very good quality logo that's going to on your car, crisp, clear. Um, Logo. All right, we see how that logo looks funny? When I tell you guys about layers and how important layers are to learn on when you're painting these cars, um, is right now where that opened it up was all the way down here on the right hand side. You'll see is below my highlights. So the highlights are actually affecting that logo. So I'm going to just simply left click on it, push it all the way up, and I'm going to take it into my sponsorship logos file, and boom, lit it off. Look at that logo, it pops right there. Okay, and we're going to take that logo and I want it to go right there below my Ford emblem. Alright, now what's important when you're laying these logos on the A post is to zoom in and look at your wire. Okay, and the reason is, if you look at your wire, you'll see right here, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that right there is the outer post. This part right here, this one is actually where it folds in. So that's actually the inside of the car. So if you leave your logo like that, it's going to wrap all the way completely around the inside of the car. So you need it to go all the way like so. That's small, and it doesn't look like much, but when you open up that car in the sim, that logo right there below your Ford is going to be, I mean, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be a real smooth logo. It's going to be crisp. A real crisp logo. Now this car right here is going to be a Real Deal Graphics Ford Fusion. So what I'm going to do is since it's my own deal and it's not a logo that's on the web or nothing I'm going to pull off, is I'm just going to come over to the T, which gives you to where you can put in your own fonts or whatever. And so if you're typing in your name, put your signatures or anything like that, you could do that. What I'm going to do is go up here and I'm just going to click Real. Actually, I want it to be all caps, so this should be REALDEAL. Okay, because the graphics is actually going to be in cursive. So right there, I'm just going to highlight it, left click and highlight it. And right here, I'm going to take it, and up there on the top, you'll see where I just highlighted that. And I'm going to change that to 300. Boom, look how big that got. Okay, so that makes for a really good 1080p logo. And then with all the fonts that you have, you can make that logo look however you want, you know, so you can make your own custom logos. A lot of people, I do a lot of logos for people, so I have millions and millions of fonts, and actually the Real Deal Graphics font, I've got to find it. Scrolling down, because it was down here toward the bottom. There it is right there. Alright, now I'm just going to click this area right here, which is like just your pointer. Okay, now you see that Real Deal? How big it is? I'm going to custom it on down. Like so. I'm going to put a little tilt on it. Boom, hit enter. Okay, now on this car right here, if you ever notice, like on it when you're looking at the cars, right here above the fender well, that car folds in. I mean, it goes up. It's the top part of the car, and then actually from here over is the top, and then from right here this is kind of the bend. So when you're doing your logos, you want to make sure that you keep them low enough to where they're not on that top part, because your logos never really wrap around the top of the car. Some do, it depends, but you know, mine's not going to. And then the other thing you want to do is where your number is going to be. So you have on the right hand side, you got your number layers. All this is, it shows you where your numbers are going to be. So that way you make sure you do not overlap um, your logos with your numbers. So that way when you go and put in, all your logos seen. And then when the numbers come on the car, it's not overtaken. What I'm going to do with this logo is I'm going to show you guys how to fill that in with strokes. I told you earlier you could stroke it on the outside or the inside. You know, put your stroke wherever you want it to go. Okay, right now it's white to the outside. Okay, which is what I want. Now on the inside, I'm going to click here and add another stroke on the inside. Now this, on the inside of it, I actually want it to be like an off black kind of gray kind of color. So you'll see the color change right there. And right here what I'm going to do is just simply increase it. Okay, I'm going to change this to the inside. Boom. Okay, now it only goes to the inside. Now as I increase that, you'll see it actually fills that inner part of that black all the way up. And actually changes the real deal from black to there. See? Alright. And then prefer if it were the inside of those two lines. See how it goes to the insides? Right there. I'll show you. Reduce it, increase it. Makes it almost solid. But I don't want it to be solid. So, now, what I actually would do is on this, in this logo right here, is I actually would go ahead and make a whole nother file and actually paint all this in like that. And actually what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show you guys how that, and then we'll just cut this tutorial off. I try not to make them too long because I know they're boring. And we've been on this one for about half hour, 45 minutes. And this is as far as we've got in 45 minutes. So one thing that you're going to have to, definitely when you're painting, is you're going to have a lot of patience because it takes a lot of time. And by watching this, it in some avenue give you a little bit more respect for the painters and why they charge for a paint. I know most people, you know, they work for $15, $20 an hour at their normal job, where your personal time is just as valuable and actually more valuable because this is a time away from work and you're doing something to help somebody because you enjoy doing it. But still at the same time, you know, your time's worth money. So that's the reason I think it's fair that some people charge for them. But you know, I think if you charge by the hour, you would be, I mean, there's no way somebody's going to pay you $400 for a car. It's absurd. So, you know, I charge 20 bucks for a car. You know, I do enjoy doing it, so, and making my creations and make them come alive. So it's pretty fun. But to make that your own logo, like I want that one to go on that car, let me bring this back up real quick. I'm not sure if anybody asked any questions or anything. Is I'm actually going to come up here. I'm going to go File, New. And you got your 1920 by 1080. Okay, we'll name this Real Deal RDG 1. Okay, so I'm going to do is I'm come in here in black. Put my Real Deal. Like so. Okay. Alright, now I've got that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take this background, make it disappear, unlock it, okay, make it disappear. Alright, I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to leave this layer completely blank, okay. This layer right here, whatever background I want this to be, that's what color I'm going to fill it. So I'm going to take my little fill tool, which is right here, it's a little bucket tool. Alright, and I'm going to wake that one back up, and boom, I'm going to paint it. Now, they are like the same in one color, so you don't see anything, okay, but don't worry, it's still there. See, So I'm gonna take my little paint bucket tool and boom, see, there it is. All right, now what I'm gonna do, this layer right here, I told you that you kept it, but you didn't do anything with it. You're gonna right click it and you're gonna merge visible. So everything visible is now one. All right, now I'm gonna take my little paint bucket tool, or my magic eraser, let me phrase that. My magic eraser tool, and I'm gonna click on the outside. Click, click, click. 3 clicks and it's completely full. All right, and that's how you do it, fill in on those. Okay, and then you save it, and that way you don't have to go in with a paintbrush and try to paint everything in. Um, that's just a quick on how to do logos. I've already actually got my logo made, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to save this car, and until you're done, you want to save it, you know, but Bratcher RDG 2018, 2017, 2018 car. All right, now I'm going to go into my files, documents, painting. I already seen Real Deal Graphics, cars. Okay, I got my Class A Ford Fusion file, and you see all my little paints I got there. And I'm going to save that Photoshop file. So now, until I'm done painting that car, it's there. You guys see all these different logos and stuff I've done. And once you're finished with the car, we'll do that in the next tutorial. I'll go ahead and put all my logos in, and I'll make this, you know, Real Deal Graphics painting tutorial part 2. And we'll actually go in, put some more logos on the car. I answer some questions if you guys have them. And if you guys have any suggestions or questions, you can just put them at the bottom, and I'll try to address those things accordingly. You can look me up, Mark Bratcher, on Facebook, or Real Deal Graphics on Facebook. Shoot me a PM if there's something you'd like to see, or something you'd like to see done specifically. Just let me know, and I'll make a tutorial. I'll post it live and let you know. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notifications buttons up top, and then that way when I do go do them, you'll be notified that I'm online and posting a tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this helps somebody or some new painter out there that is up and coming and new into the painting world. Hopefully it does, and you know, if not, until next time, it's Circle BTV, and keep on keeping on. I hope this helps somebody. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you on the racetrack.